urban legends are everywhere. For example, have you heard the one about how if you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with 3 friends, your crush will ask you out? Sounds far-fetched, but can you afford to take that risk? There are a ton of urban legends that circulated around classic video games, and most of them were just myths, spread by playground gossip from people who had an uncle who allegedly worked for Nintendo. Every so often though, in the fullness of time, an urban legend would turn out to actually be true. Sit back and enjoy these 7 video game urban legends that turned out to be true, eventually. I mean, you might as well do something while you're waiting for your crush to text you, right? Oh, and beware spoilers for these following games.
The death of Aeris is one of the most heartbreaking moments in video game history. Partly because this innocent, beloved character was wrenched from us, yes, but mostly because even nearly 30 years later, people won't stop going on about it. Yes, I'm aware that I too am going on about it. Back in 1997, it was a rarity for a video game to kill off a friendly character without giving you the chance to save them by simply playing better. As a result, it didn't take long for rumours to swirl that you could somehow save Aeris and keep her around beyond her untimely demise during Disc 1 of Final Fantasy VII. One rumoured method was levelling up the underwater materia that is otherwise only used for a single boss fight to maximum level. Another was just being as rude and dismissive as possible to Tifa, or as gross pickup artists describe it, seduction. It wasn't until October of 2024 though that this urban legend finally came true. Speedrunners looking for a glitch to help them skip substantial portions of the first disc of the game discovered a bizarre side effect of one of their shortcuts to the City of the Ancients where the events of Disc 1 end. While the cutscene of Aeris' death played as usual, they found that for the first time without mods or cheat engines, Aeris remained in the party, making her playable throughout Disc 2 and 3. Naturally, there are no additional story elements or dialogue lines featuring Aeris, but she's available in battle and, to all intents and purposes, alive, having survived a sword to the heart. But then I always did wonder, why didn't they just bring Aeris back by using a Phoenix down on her? Oh, I'm going on about it again, aren't I?
Round 2, fight!
Mortal Kombat's history is as much characterized by its color-coded ninjas as it is by people ripping out each other's spines. That's because the new character design process of Mortal Kombat is to take your standard Sub-Zero ninja, think of a color you haven't done yet, and then bam, new character. Hey Purple Sub-Zero. I mean Rain. However, when Mortal Kombat first started in the arcades back in the early 90s, we weren't so flush with ninjas. We just had Sub-Zero in blue and Scorpion in yellow, and we made do, dreaming of the day we'd see a green ninja. Oh hey Green Sub-Zero. I mean Reptile.
Reptile wins.
However, an urban legend about another color-coded ninja arose from a misunderstanding from players seeing the term Ermacs, which is short for error macros, in the original Mortal Kombat arcade machine's audit menu. Ermacs was just short for error macros, a bit of code designed to catch bugs and errors, but in some versions the word Ermacs was listed next to Reptile Battles, which referred to the actual secret new green-colored ninja, Reptile. As such, theories and rumours started to swirl about the mysterious Ermac, which Mortal Kombat developer Midway were only too happy to stoke with winking references to Ermac in Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah, cute guys, but can we actually have Ermac as a character, please? By the time Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 came around, the Ermac truther community had gotten so vocal that Midway decided, hey, free character idea, and added him to the game. Oh hey, Red Sub-Zero. I mean Ermac.
Finish it. Ermac wins.
More recent games have changed Ermac considerably, with the Red Ninja now a floating collection of damned souls held together with some bandages and a fancy cloak. But he'll always be Red Sub-Zero to us.
Move it, will you?
A game with a massive open world like a Grand Theft Auto game is fertile ground for urban legends, and almost every game in the series has multiple legends, rumours and cryptids to its name. For example, Grand Theft Auto 3's haunted bathroom, Grand Theft Auto 4's abandoned amusement park, and the half-cow, half-snake creature rumoured to be in Grand Theft Auto 5 known as the Cake. Folks, I'm telling you right now, the cake is a lie. However, no Grand Theft Auto urban legend was as prevalent in the early days of the franchise as the one which claimed that Bigfoot himself was somehow alive and well and living in San Andreas. It's worth remembering that this was around the time of GTA San Andreas' hot coffee fiasco, where it emerged that a spicy minigame had been excised from the game but still existed within the game's code, the discovery of which led to it receiving an adults-only rating and being banned entirely in Australia until the offending content was removed. As such, players wondered what else could be hiding in San Andreas, and that's when rumours started to take hold that Bigfoot could be found roaming the more rural areas of the map, such as Back and Beyond or Mount Chiliad. None of this was helped by the fact that GTA San Andreas had a hunger meter that caused main character CJ's stomach to growl when he got hungry, which exploring players mistook for a Bigfoot growl. Buddy, I've been there. It's been a long time since breakfast. Things escalated when the modding community started making mods that actually added a Bigfoot model into the game, so they could take screenshots, post them on forums, and confuse everyone even further. Anyway, the long and short of it is that Bigfoot did not exist in the San Andreas wilderness, that is, until Grand Theft Auto 5 rolled around. As you'll know, because literally everyone in the whole world has played Grand Theft Auto 5, that game is also set in San Andreas. And thanks to the popularity of the Bigfoot legend from the earlier game, it is absolutely full of Sasquatches. One can be spotted hiding behind a tree on the mission Predator when Michael is using a thermal scope to spot things from a helicopter.
That model's fitted with a thermal scope. Look for their heat signatures.
And then we have the mission The Last One, which is all Sasquatch all the time. In this mission, Franklin runs into a Sasquatch hunter who reveals he's been searching for a Sasquatch in these here hills ever since GTA San Andreas came out.
A what?
A Sasquatch! Man, you believe in that bull? Been 8 years combing these woods. I've seen one hundreds of times. I just never got a clear shot.
What follows is the Sasquatch hunt of 2004 gamers' dreams that is only slightly spoiled by the revelation that the Sasquatch is actually a guy in a suit.
Wait a second. It's just a f***ing mask.
Make it stop, human.
And the revelation that this is possibly a sex thing.
It's perfectly normal to admit to being aroused role-playing dressed as a fantastical beast.
It's like they're trying to get banned in Australia again.
Fight!
Back before mobile phones, there were these things called magazines. They were less portable, and if you wanted to zoom in, you had to move them closer to your face. But let me tell you, the battery life was incredible. Video game magazines were the 90s kids' primary source of news and information about what was happening in the world of gaming, and readers trusted these magazines to tell them the truth. That's why Electronic Gaming Monthly caused so much confusion with its April Fool's joke from 1992. In Street Fighter 2, one of Ryu's win quotes was a mistranslation and read, "You must defeat Sheng Long to stand a chance." The name Sheng Long was actually a mistranslation of Shoryuken, which you'll probably know is Ryu's Dragon Punch move. Players assumed Sheng was a character and rumours spread, but this problem was compounded when EGM published an alleged method to unlock him as an opponent, complete with edited screenshots that showed an older Karate Man character presumed to be Ryu and Ken's sensei. See, misinformation was a problem even before social media. There were jokes and references to Sheng in the years that followed, including a character called Guken who shared similar traits in Street Fighter IV, and some joke character art in 2017. But then, Street Fighter VI arrived in June 2023, and it came with World Tour, an RPG-style single-player mode that allowed you to play as someone who looked like the victim of a terrible accident at a nuclear test site.
I'm sorry, but this is a masterpiece.
Hiding on top of the CERN building after you complete World Tour, 31 years after the original hoax, is optional boss Sheng, with a character design very similar to that 2017 tribute artwork. He's a level 90 fighter and generally considered one of the toughest opponents in the game, as befits his legendary status. I've defeated Shenlong! Finally, I stand a chance! You know what? I never stopped to check. A chance at what exactly?
Simon! Get out of the water! There's Megalodon!
There aren't any Megalodons?
Oh yeah.
The Megalodon is a giant prehistoric shark, as colossal as it is extinct, and iconic star of the Meg movie franchise. Alright, co-star. Sorry, Jason Statham. Just as modern paleontologists are tantalised by fossil records that suggest this super shark grew up to 80 feet in length, back in 2013, Battlefield players were tantalised by obscure hints that seem to suggest there might be a Megalodon hidden somewhere inside a first-person shooter Battlefield 4.
Hit him with everything you got, boy!
Rumours began to swirl early on, with Battlefield fans piecing together truly arcane and possibly even spurious clues about the presence of a Megalodon. In particular, Battlefield expert YouTuber Jack Frags led the charge, connecting the clues with figurative red string on a figurative conspiracy wall that included de-scrambled passcodes extracted from within the game, a reference to a paperback novel called Phantom Prospect Rogue Angel that had a Megalodon in it, and a vague statement made in a Battlefield developer interview.
They were talking about that you put in some secret features in the game that somebody discovered and took away. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
So actually the secret's still in.
Well, I'm convinced. Oh yeah! Also, there was a bit in the Machinima animated series Battlefield Friends, which did a gag about there being Megalodons in the water.
Simon! Get out of the water! There's Megalodon!
There aren't any Megalodons?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is Battlefield 4, guys.
Yeah, and there's no Megalodons.
Yeah, it's a prehistoric shark. Why would that be in the water?
Okay, you'll see, whatever.
But was it more than just a gag? Friends, it was. It took a good while, but the legend of a hidden megashark finally proved to be awesomely true when Jack Frags and the Battlefield community deciphered the very specific conditions under which a Megalodon would manifest, specifically in the waters of one of the naval strike maps, Nansha Strike, in Battlefield 4's third DLC expansion. Turns out you had to assemble 10 delicious players around an offshore buoy before the Megalodon would decide it was worth its time to show up and kill everyone. Also, it turns out a Megalodon is substantially larger than 80 feet, being roughly the size of a modern aircraft carrier. Shows what you know, paleontologists. Fossil record indeed.
GoldenEye 007 on the N64 is hands down the best James Bond game ever made. Though, let's be honest, it's not exactly stiff competition.
Who are you? What do you want?
Bond, from MI6.
at least get the catchphrase right. GoldenEye revolutionised console first-person shooters with its expansive levels, multiple objectives, and pause music that went harder than month-old chewing gum. Rare, are you trying to stop me playing this game? Almost certainly the element that cemented the game's legendary status though was the 4-player split-screen multiplayer deathmatch mode, which saw 90s gamers playing long into the night, or at the very least, arguing long into the night about whether selecting Oddjob was cheating or not. The one thing that would have improved the game would have been to settle that most boomer dad of debates once and for all. Who is the best James Bond? Fueled by some early development screenshots, there was a persistent rumour that you could unlock 3 previous Bonds, played by Sean Connery, Timothy Dalton and Roger Moore, to join GoldenEye's Pierce Brosnan in multiplayer. This would have allowed each of the 4 players to take control of a James in a battle for spy supremacy. And yes, print media Agents of Chaos EGM yet again produced a doctored screenshot to further muddy the waters. Well, it turns out the textures for the 3 previous Bond characters were indeed buried in the game files on the cartridge that made it to stores, including Connery in his signature ivory tuxedo with a red carnation buttonhole from Goldfinger. Apparently the legacy Bond actors were removed in a last-minute panic that they might sue for the use of their likenesses. But all it took was industrious modders creating a mod for Perfect Dark called GoldenEye X that used those same textures to recreate the experience as it could have been. And while the debate over who is the best Bond will probably rage on forever, we now at least know who the worst one is. Whichever one I'm playing as. You're welcome, George Lazenby.
If the Super Smash Bros. Series of beat-em-ups could be said to have a main enemy, most players would agree it's Kirby, the pitiless cosmic vacuum from whom there can be no escape. H.P. Lovecraft could never. If we're talking in terms of the other characters though, it's definitely Master Hand, the massive disembodied gloved hand that serves as the final boss of Classic Mode in most Smash Bros. Games. Despite being just a big hand, Master Hand is a formidable opponent who will smack you silly for having the temerity to try and finish Classic Mode in a Smash Bros. Game. Also, that's Mario's hand, right? It's got the glove and everything. Is this just payback for how many lives it took me to finish Grandmaster Galaxy, the perfect run from Super Mario Galaxy 2? Because if so, that's fair. I deserve this. Anyway, rumours abounded for many years that there were secret methods to unlock Master Hand as a playable character, because apparently Smash Bros. Fans were really keen to play the game as a big glove. Why? When there are so many other great characters like Pyra, Byleth, Roy, Crom, come on, I've got to have heard of one of these. Anyway, without glitching or hacking the game, a playable Master Hand remained an urban legend all the way up until 2018, when Master Hand finally became playable in a special event in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's World of Light mode. In this event, you play as Master Hand, and for a brief moment get to experience the awesome power of just absolutely owning everyone on screen as you slap them into the middle distance, crush them with your fist, and shoot finger lasers at everyone, safe in the knowledge that you're the toughest thing on screen by a considerable margin. The fact that you can just sort of hover and float around the place is a big plus too. Once you've crushed 50 opponents, the event ends, and it's back to being regular old not giant hand characters, but we'll always have those brief moments when we were crushing tiny idiots with our giant fist, like the Incredible Hulk playing whack-a-mole. Take that, all you Smash Brothers characters like Corrin. I swear to God you're making some of these up, Nintendo.
Those were 7 urban legends that turned out to be awesomely true. Here's another urban legend for you. Did you know that if you don't watch one of these 2 videos, 2 excellent lists from Outside Xbox, Outside Extra, then in 7 days you will be visited by Andy Farrant crawling out of your TV screen with like wet, lank hair, and he'll get you. Oh, he'll get you. So, I mean, I can only recommend that you watch this video from Outside Xbox, or this, another classic, iconic list from Outside Extra. He's here. He's gonna get you.